That was a fairly long introductory episode, which was fun. We only demonstrated one of my two absurdities. Let's just jump in here. Let's demonstrate the second absurdity. First off, my overall structure of this thing is not working the way I want it to. I need to save my subassembly in a different way. Let's go. Okay, let's get into pods. Yeah, let's get the little probodobodyne, because for many of our things to work, I'm going to want that thing stuck in front of it. And now let's take this off of here. Go to one Kerbal pod. Well, that was for the whole seat. This is just for this part here. This is the one Kerbal seat. Because now I see that what I had assembled for the initial one Kerbal pod is overbuilt, really. Save that one. Good. Okay, so now, how do I want to go about doing this? Can we pull it off of there? Put it back on? Yeah, like that. Yeah. See, I'm thinking that we don't need this enormous reaction wheel, even though I used it as the base of my build, and we don't need this enormous battery. This thing has its own reaction wheel, and it has a little bit of battery charge. So I think for our base assembly, we're going to stick that thing on there. And we're also going to go into utility. Where's our small little battery what's-its? Yeah, these guys. We'll give it a couple more. We can probably get away with just sticking them like on the side here or something. Ooh, how about that? We'll do mirrored. Mirrored. I think I like that a great deal. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, so now it has some additional charge. Do we also want to do, let's go into our science, because, yeah, since I did that last episode, even though it was just yesterday, we have a fix where apparently these extremely light parts, such as these, will work. Okay, so let's go with this one, or do I want to do one? No, I want to do this one, because it'll be cool. Maybe not. Oh, you know, I could even put this thing in front of them and make it look like an instrument panel. I just thought of that just now. Okay, see if we can kind of center it. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's keep that. Let's keep that and see if it'll continue to work. And it's not really obstructing his view any more than this piece is. Instead of putting that up front, we could get away with putting it in back. Oh, there's an idea. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit of streamlining, a little bit of optimization, which I believe shall be for the better. Now, the goal for the day, the mission is to take this assembly and put it into orbit and return it safely back to the surface of Kerbal. One thing that I already know that we'll need to do is we will need a heat shield. Not that one, this one. Here we go. I can put it right on there like that. That's very good. We might as well go ahead and stick some struts on there. Keep it all very nicely strutted. Okay, yeah, it'll add a little bit of structural rigidity. We'll actually put a third one down here just because I'm all paranoid about a lot of these things. Yeah, right there. Into there, so... Okay, that looks nicely solid. Okay, so this, and let me see, do we want to put, just hang just our basic parachute on the front of it, right? This is the assembly that's going to come back from orbit. The single parachute, the little Mark 16, old standard. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and this is the one we're going to save as the one Kerbal pod. Hello, D. I don't know why sometimes it misses things that I type in there. Okay, good. So now, yeah, so we have to figure out a way First, to get this into orbit, which the problems with the traveling at higher speeds were not being as severe as I anticipated. How much does the whole thing weigh at this point? Yeah, 212 kilograms. I wonder how much a Kerbal weighs. Could be interesting to find out. Let me see. I don't want the... I think I actually do not want the heat shield to drop off there, do I? How much does that thing weigh? Total mass? Well, maybe. 0.45. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it. See what happens. Let's see, but that it might be fairly good to land on. It might be better than landing on this. Yeah, let's... I don't want that thing to come off. Here we go. Okay, so now we need to come up with a vehicle that will take off from the runway. It'll climb out, and it do its initial climb out like an airplane. And then, after that point, and then once it'll get a vertical climb going, then it'll start going into space. One interesting thing, my Kerbal engineer here, which gives thrust to weight ratios and gives very helpful delta V measurements as I'm adding all these parts. It's not so great right now because we're doing this in such an absurd fashion that exactly how much delta V does it take to take off from a runway and then get into orbit? Especially since their initial stage is probably going to be using these high-powered jet engines. I don't know. I guess we're all going to find out, right? Let's see, what engine do I want to put on this one? I could do like the little radial guys, maybe. It's probably actually best. Let's just do a couple of those like that. I like that, I said. Thank you. Clip onto there. Fix the staging. How much delta V do those things at 2,500 delta V? Oh, that's rather excessive. Can we shrink this? Can we shrink it down? I don't feel a need to have any more than say 1,000. Right there in our very, very last upper stage. 29.6 seconds. I'm actually kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit too efficient for our uses. Maybe we could even get away with doing these. They're really, really little guys. 1,122. Thrust weight ratio 0.25. 0.47. I'm actually thinking I'm liking this more. Yeah, it's a longer, more even push, you know? Okay, so there's our upper atmosphere part. Here, let's go, one Kerbal orbiter. So we don't overwrite that other save. There we go. I like that. Good. Good. Yeah, way too many things in this game are this whole gray scale. White, black, gray. We need more color. Okay, let me see what rocket engine do I want to do. I've deliberately for this series I'm wanting to stick to a whole lot of the more, the regular, the usual pieces and parts. Okay, here we go. Delta V. Let's increase this thing. Tell you what, let's take it all. Since it's being this part itself is, if I were gonna stand it on end, just this part itself is already close to enough to get to orbit, but that's not counting for all the drag. How much delta V do I want to give it? Call it, say, 3,500, because I'm going to have a vehicle that'll take this up, and this thing is going to launch up. It's gonna light this engine off somewhere up there in the upper atmosphere. So yeah, 3,500 just to be safe on it, huh? Now the question is, Do I want to like build sideways and like build my airplane around it, or do I want to build an airplane underneath and say it's gonna ride piggyback in the back of an airplane? And that one may be simpler. Well, actually, it may not be. I could even do a tank to allow this thing to thrust. Could do some, you know, put a belly. Oh, there's an idea. Do like a belly tank on there that feeds into this thing and build that as a whole airplane kind of a stage. But I don't want. Okay. No, I think I'm wanting to build my airplane stage kind of around it. Yeah, let's go with our radial decouplers. Turn the mirroring on. There we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. And let's go and we'll go ahead and do this. This is like a common theme throughout building things in Kerbal Space Program. So we have our engine body and the fuel tanks all kind of mixed together, all in one assembly, which we'll just kind of just let it go. It'll work. Why wouldn't it work, right? Okay, and let's go with propulsion. Not these. These guys, yeah. Okay, let's do some, and yeah, we're not going to cross-feed any fuel, and we're still going to get this thing up to app. Right now I'm thinking probably not going to be lighting this thing off and to help it with initial takeoff or anything. We're going to save that one for upper atmosphere. Let's do some struts. Yeah, probably an improved strut. Is there going to be some rather significant forces acting on this beast? Good. Yeah, it's going to end up being kind of short and stubby, but there are things that we can do about this. Turn this off. Let me see. I also need... yeah, it's starting to take shape in my mind how this is going to work. We need... Now, turn it mirroring off. We need a single decoupler that goes on top there. Good. Small structural fuselage pieces. Here we go. I'm going to build a tail onto this thing because an airplane needs a tail. And also a tail piece back behind that. Yeah, this tail connector is small, like maybe that guy. Yeah, that'll work. There's that thing way. Okay, yeah, it's very, very light. That's very good. Strut that thing down. Okay, before we do the wings, again, let's do this nose gear, which we will need another radial decoupler, huh? There we go. That works. All right. Flip it back over. Good. Let's okay, hang on. Let's turn that landing gear around, huh? Let me see. We still have, yeah, that one. Okay, jet engine's light. See, we're gonna ditch the landing gear just as soon as we get off the ground. Oh, I love it. It's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Why wouldn't it work? Now let's hang some wings on this. Let's go to Procedural Wings. Do these guys. Oh, it's ugly vehicle, but it's gonna be cool. You know what I mean? Ugly. Okay, center mass, center of lift. They're pretty, but it'll move. The center of lift will move backward whenever I hang some control surfaces back here. That's actually okay at this point. Let's hang some. Where'd my control surfaces on there? Some ailerons. See, this vehicle is going to disassemble itself. It's going to take off like a really ugly, awkward-looking airplane, and then it's going to disassemble itself in flight and convert into a rocket. Oh, it's looking kind of like a kit ultralight airplane. The whole exposed open cockpit up front and the goofy-looking landing gear. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm actually rethinking my landing gear now. Really, it's a misnomer. It is not landing gear. It is takeoff gear. It's not landing. It's not going to land. Could even put that all the way up here, huh? Except we'll have ugly pieces left over. Yeah, no, we'll leave it there just for aesthetic's sake. But I'm going to get rid of the tall decoupler. And instead we're going to go with the short one. The short radial decoupler. Yeah, stick it on there like that. Good. Stick that one on there like that. Good. And instead we're going to go with our tall decouplers to the sides. Again, here's this issue where things don't want to stick. Here we go. Yeah, like that. Back here like this. Good. Yeah, that's almost... Yeah, you could almost get away with doing the small ones back there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the medium size just so it'll have that initial nose down attitude, which tends to be more useful. Maybe, well, actually, maybe that may be too much of a nose down attitude. Let's see what it looks like with the small ones. Was I thinking wrong? That's pretty fairly level. Yeah, it's level enough for our purposes. It'll work. More struts. Okay, let me see. You need basic tail structure on this thing. Turn mirroring off again. Let's do a vert stab first. A little bit of aviation lingo there for you. Vert stab, vertical stabilizer. Otherwise known as a tail fin. If you want to be all kind of vulgar about it, you could call it a tail fin. It's the vert stab, man. Good enough. Yeah, it is looking kind of ultralightish, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's cool. Let me see. Believe that we're going to stick with our stabilators. All moving control surface. Those have many features which are useful. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, far. Let's do this. Let's go to 45. Sweep angle of attack. Yeah, all kinds of crazy things happening there. Let's do standard control surface. You see, those are my ailerons. Yeah, let's go to 25. New 2-meter control surface. Yeah, it's my rudder. Call that one also 25. There we go. Okay, and these guys, that's my pitch. We ran into problems last time with it being such an incredible amount of pitch control. Let's do it like that. I'm not even going to bother to sweep Mach. It's going to give absurd numbers. And this is not the configuration that's going to be hitting the Mach numbers anyway. Remember, it's going to be jettisoning all these landing gear, takeoff gear, pretty much just as soon as it breaks ground. Okay, so let's check staging. Here, let's save what I have so far before something bad happens. Then we'll check the staging. So there's our 2 jet engines. We take off, and we jettison all of the takeoff gear. I'll call it landing gear, just stop being confusing. We climb, and as soon as we climb it looks like we've climbed as much as the jet engines are going to allow us to. Then we jettison both the jet engines and all of the aerodynamic control surfaces, at which point we light the main rocket engine. That thing burns, gets us up into space, and then we jettison that stage. I don't even know what stage to call it. I suppose that's second stage. These are jet engines are first stage. We jettison the second stage, we light all of our orbital engines. And then when it's time to come back, that thing decouples. We still have their heat shield and the parachute. I'm thinking that I am not going to try to jettison the heat shields. That looks like it'd be very convenient to land on, take some of the shock. I believe staging is accurate. And this thing, total Delta V, it figures we got over 6,000, so come on. Well, it should work, right? Save it. Let's launch it. Okay, there it is. It drops. Nothing immediately breaks, which is encouraging. Let's set the parking brake. Learn from previous efforts gone wrong. It only has these little batteries. Yeah, but it should be enough. Let's hide that. And I went ahead and loaded a few Kerbals over there. So let's see who we got. So I just click next. I don't even know who this is. Who is this? Kerman Freeman. Same dude. All right. Show him what you got, Kerman Freeman. Yeah, so far it's been Kerman Freeman, it's been Lewis James Lewis. Alright. Turn that off. Interesting, it all uncompresses. Board. Bang, here he is. Control from here. Good. Is this going to work? Let's turn this on. For our airspeed settings, turn this to EAS. Thank you very much. Turn resources on. Grab the joystick. Excuse me, mouse, while I bump the mouse with my joystick. Certain it could be a euphemism for something, but I don't know what. Okay. Is this going to work? I don't know. Control check. Yeah, there's our pitch. There's our... hello? Here's our roll. Yeah, the game just kind of stuttered for a second. There's our yaw. There's Kerman Freeman. I don't know if this is going to work, man. Enough delay. Let's do it. Stage that. Throttle up. Is it doing the thing with the park? Oh, let's take the parking brake off, dumbass. Good. Yeah, sometimes it does it. The parking brake doesn't want to... Okay, now we go. Let's actually do partial throttle just because I'm expecting so much thrust out of these and I want to take off to be kind of under control, you know? Start to pitch gently back as we reach, say, like 70. A little more throttle. Nose is rising. Yeah, remember how heavy this is with all that fuel in there. Okay, we're climbing. Stage. Jettison the landing gear. Don't need that stuff anymore. Good. Okay, and now we just want a nice, gentle... We got plenty of fuel in these. There's really no hurry. So let's go ahead and full throttle and do a climb. Yeah, we want to reach some altitude, and as soon as we get to... that's about as high an altitude and high speed. Really, I'm more concerned with altitude than I am with speed. As it looks like it's going to be reasonable, then we're going to jettison all the aerodynamic stuff and the jet engines and turn into a pure spaceship. What happens? We turn SAS on. SAS. Whoa! Turn that off. Okay, what broke? F3. What broke? Structural failure on linkage between Kerman Freeman and external command seat. Kerman Freeman was killed. No! That was... Kerman! No! No, Kerman! Oh my god! Well, I guess lesson learned. I mean, I still could have control over this through the pod, but there's no point. Don't turn the SAS on in atmosphere, dudes. Oh, it's a tragedy! It's terrible, man. Okay, well... It's kind of sad. Let's go back to Space Center. Let's next volunteer. But, man, that wasn't the way that was supposed to work. Yeah, it started flapping back and forth and wildly oscillating. Hello, can I select the runway? Hello? Hello? I'm trying to select the runway. Hello? Hello? Why will it not let me select the runway? Come on. Alright, well, we'll select the... Oh, wait a second. That's not letting me select anything. I believe I've encountered a bug. Alright, see? Stop. Stop recording. Let's close it all up and come back later.